our London, United Kingdom. Abrantie bia ono esina kan Brazil. And Abrantie no your friend 𝐒𝐏𝐬𝐄 Madruga was 25-yard scissor kick Brazilian second division numa and inti Puskas Award the best goal of the year no etimi akwama Abrantie wono every Braziller ono so your friend 𝐒𝐏𝐬𝐄 Madruga na one Abrantie bi to set Nuno Santos and Brighton Abrantie your friend Julio 𝐿𝐾𝐂𝐊 womo enana omo compete for the Puskas Award and so Abrantie free Brazil Madruga wetimi ewini edi esine nason. It's 22 minutes past 9. Max FM 89.7. Bebia wo bia ya makonya se obetimi do adwenche unim de eso atadwumedie nechi on 050 6367 196 050 636719. We are big on Facebook and into also so ubetimi ako we share dwumedie na wo de wadwenche ba yebusa de na wo se Ghana ye na Ghana timi Egypt na Ghana timi qualify the konanim Ghana Egypt qualify but the yebusa say de na Abrantie no udi wani kan mu a wo share say 𝐾𝐕𝐄 Ghana no what must Ghana do right to beat Egypt? We in summer ye de eto sana domestic transfer window etimia bawe ye mesrawa for adwenche bra so what the players be a omo move akoko teams awodo a na wa me aten kan Abrantie feno as of omo left winger bia okosia kan Real Tamale United last 2 seasons ago Michel Sarpong na esim 24 hwenim se ko be call loan Great Olympics wenyan kwa wa join Real Tamale United on a permanent deal winning some kakra aba happy to see the star boy Mutala Yakubu and Josiah Nana Adu baby awo bia nyame ma hodin na unyina ona so na sanfa beke home. Tony Bebli, the predictor and producer of the show, on behalf of all of us, Michael, Daniel, PK, Belinda, Filippo, and everybody on the sports team. And for Franca Abidjan, Yenina, Yemobibia Kwaba, Ediba, and Ebrada, the sports park on 89.7. Thank you very much to Mutala Yakubu and the rest of the team for a good job done. Is it your movie and your African Cup of Nations? African Cup of Nations matches are odo mienu ba Tony Bebli abeka chem say apam Jose Mourinho. Amba. Kwezi Amba.
Yes. And kwa na first on the agenda me ba.
Awuba nyina na
wodo. Enu kwa na amama bowura hasisi ano.
Teacher no aka unfi me kra.
Oh, there be coming back but no na ejinja me more. Push me more because I mean
you have an interesting but how many Milan share 3?
Yes, share 3 and they've won one in their last 3 games.
Is it the reason that has triggered the dismissal?
Of course. Clearly we won't say league in Nkoye they are 9th on the league log and Roma owners no share they think that they've made certain investments in the team that Jose Mourinho should be able to at least have decent results. They said you Kremo Roma pa Europa Conference League, but them say they are looking beyond that.
That's right.
She said with Romelu Lukaku, with El Shaarawy, Roma squad then said anya bad sao.
Because remember also no go into detail, but I mean same way too. Now feel minya bibia Emma Onunia Josiah. Is it young team free FIFA awards no NFMpo Jose Mourinho nkomo mu na yentimra African Cup of Nations unim set enra matches a bar so Teranga Lions of Senegal. Okay, there was a game in Italy yesterday. Now Atalanta ni Frosinone dia boy Atalanta chef Frosinone by 5-0. Now Senegal Abrantie ba kubia me say no am sha Abrantie no me say board here Charlie when the fundamentals are weak AFCON will expose you. Abrantie friend Lamine Camara. I'm told he won the under-20 best player the last under-20 AFCON. And our last channel you call the Awakumudi call and also on the best young player or competition Abrantie no the maiden AFCON or she 2 goals in Edema Senegal Oma Mazombedia grow Senegal 3 Gambia 0 Guinea 4 me say Cameroon 4 Abrantie friend Francois Camano onya red card into the stoppage time of first half and free mo Abrana Bayo as a first goal Diama Guinea na Cameroon back from recess. No munya numerical advantage. 10 against 11. And Abrantia Magri. It's me take Kana. Cameroon 1, Guinea 1. Now, Unimza Abrantia friend Andre Onana. Manchester United form on a private jet too. And what the private jet need to free Manchester. Who? Okokodro Abidjan now also team connecting flight. Edko Yamo Sukru. Na neni abrese kopeso kodu ntam ne yamane dago onana yesi weda ne nya oyamo sukro otena airport okodu yamo sukro na about 4 o'clock match is here 5 o'clock osi chinchina yamane nana rego be song so debi now de bia say ya ene yama ono akasa ne cousin unim se ondua no e onana cousin no Onana ne cousin pani ondua no ene yama ondua no go dem na nso no timi say Cameroon for no omo amfi onana o name omo fi Vincent Abubakar intendra Cameroon 1 Bobo Kwe from Guinea also share 1 eno aso me sha brantie friend Bunaja na eno go bia Bunaja share no yesi ebetimi cut down history as the best disallowed goal ever to be scored at the African Cup. And now Bunaja bo Caesar cake so born it no and a VR ebe mo ayanyi go no. But previously no edi can first goal no e di ama Algeria and san and Abrantie friend Mabululu obeti can from the penalty spot edma the Palancas Negras of Angola. Against in the bay na Algeria 1 Angola 1. Alright, and the match is a basso na yemfi ni enkom kakrai. And the match is a basso okay, Juventus will play Sassuolo and the Zenya African Cup. Na Copa del Rey so match is bebasso ewo Getafe Sevilla Athletic Club any Deportivo Alaves Tenerife ni Mallorca ebebo, but our concentration is right here. South Africa 8 p.m. Omni Mali ena Ebo Empire Asia Sasusu ena Namibia Omni Legon City bebo Kroma went manche Legon City Omni 1-1 Echi Ghana Black Stars and Ghana ball draw no Omni Tunisia ena di boy first match of the day Burkina Faso Omni Mauritania ena di boy ni we African Cup of Nations matches sa Ebas Group D ena Mabrobo so edi achono Burkina eni Mauritania no bas start de la paix ena kensewe baso nti shenonso na famen sanso so ena Tunisia ena Namibia eno baso start Amadou Gon Coulibaly ena sa bobo komienu omodi boom. Then that game between Mali and South Africa eno baso the same stadium Amadou Gon Coulibaly nti shenonso na famen I am Max FM 89.7. Like I always say, your views make the show big. The show thrives on your views and your comments. Inti entrenchen so kra for adwin chebra 050 63 67 196 050 63 67 196. In the second half of the show, remember details of movement cost or domestic transfer no mu abra window no eklosu enra yedin komo a yaboabo no nyina etimi ediaba abrantie friend Latif Annabella anya bia otimi move ye ana wantimi move enkomo no ho a yede ebro ewo Max 89.7. This is the Sports Park. Join us on Facebook, on YouTube, and with your thoughts on WhatsApp. Time check is 9:30 on 89.7. Good morning, Starboy.
Good morning, Nana.
Boko dear. Congratulations, you're a hero.
Yeah, beat me. Pushing in here. Nana. Me pesa me kate honest. The Jose Mourinho issue is boiling.
Mpesa mbisa mo. Ye intellectual exercise kakra. Yeah.
Well, I think it's non-performance, and I'm sure the rumor owners know. A year squad now, Mukitana. At least that squad should be able to compete. Obi anywhere obe convincing say squad a manager like Roberto Di Zerbi Ekuta or Brighton no. It is better than what Jose Mourinho has. We can compare the players that both teams have at the moment. You better compare players both teams war. AS Roma, I mean players be almost a year. You won't call them world beaters. These are not world beaters. These are not world class players. but they are good players. Most of them have played for some of the big teams in Europe. They have Stefan El Shaarawy. They have Leandro Paredes. Why did walk up in pool? He was at Paris Saint-Germain some time back. I'm so about PSG Crampo and Yaman Uncle Yafamano. Tammy Abraham, you will print about Paulo Dybala. I mean, we know the pedigree of Paulo Dybala. He's played for Juventus. He's played at the World Cup. He's won the World Cup. He's one of the best attackers in Europe. One of the best playmakers in Europe. Yeah, Andrea Belotti will honor. They have Romelu Lukaku. They have Lorenzo Pellegrini. They have Chris Smalling.
Matic.
Yes, Rio Patricio. I mean, these are Matic boys who are free horn and say the France. These are players any decent manager should be able to secure at least European football with this kind of team. Oh, if you are Romelu Lukaku, your list should be at least the Europa League. Now, this is the case where Jose Mourinho has come to Roma. After so many years that Roma had not won a cup. Oba and Obaje, the Europa Conference League, Momo. Brilliant. The Roma fans were on cloud 9. The owners or the managers go on to improve the squad. No one said they can go a step further from the Europa Conference League to maybe the Europa League. They start the season, they have some decent results, but the last few days, results didn't yet. Now, if you check the track record of Jose Mourinho, leading up to every time, Pamono, our club, there's this palpable discourse between Mourinho and some of the players.
That has happened at Roma
yes,
as well?
And reports are back.
Wow.
One of the players important.
I'm told you told the player say play Prado.
Yeah, Renato. Or the neighbor ball, or the neighbor ball, or the neighbor game in the second half. Within 80 minutes in the second half, for saying you didn't freeboard him. Or we are now apologizing. And currently, I'm hearing there's a palpable discourse between only some of the senior figures in there. Obi to say Andrea Belotti. Andrea Belotti is complaining, say he should be starting games. He doesn't know why he will be put on the bench for Romelu Lukaku, Dybala, Ebebo. He also feels that he's good enough to start. Said third choice because even Stefan El Shaarawy gets more playing time than him.
Yeah.
Now Jose Mourinho started off brilliantly. Sometimes in maybe say say game no edwane eja Mourinho kakra no. Na say omo no justify, but I stand on my grounds. Mourinho what Porto yampamuno. Chelsea for never find free Porto. Or what Chelsea in the first season disagreement and on it it wasn't because of results, because they were on their way to the finals of the Champions League. It wasn't because of results that Mourinho did free Chelsea. And his biggest legacy as a coach happened when he was at Chelsea. That is where he's revered there. Because he made Chelsea the club that they are today.
That's right.
Yampamuno Chelsea because of non-performance. Okwa Inter Milan, fantastic. He won the treble with Inter Milan, winning the Champions League, the league, and of course, a friend is saying Coppa Italia with Inter Milan. Now Mourinho woes as a manager started when he joined Real Madrid. He woes as a manager since he joined Real Madrid in 2010. One of the problems starts here. Every single club that he's joined, he's been sacked for non-performance. Real Madrid in the first season, it was a little bit better. And then in the first game, when Barcelona, he shared the 5.
Yeah.
But he was able to recover. He won the Copa del Rey. Things were moving on fine. Until 2013, Omoni Atletico Madrid, a ball. I had that Copa del Rey final, Olusu, that was where his role started. Few days after that loss, Florentino Perez released his statement, said Mourinho and the club have parted ways mutually. Grammar. Obi say semantics. You catch us a coach and Obi party ways mutually. Usually, obvious say result in T because that season on that ensure that 𝐏𝐀𝐂𝐊.
Sure.
And about Real Madrid, he struggled a bit with it, especially with the Champions League. Yes, I wouldn't put that solely on him because Real Madrid themselves were struggling in the Champions League to even make semi-final, quarter-final. Edu baby na Real Madrid de brepa I think between 2007 to 2010 more now more bread with the Champions League. So that wasn't his fault. Yes, second on a call back to Chelsea. Back to Chelsea now fantastic. G League Edema and that's all Kaiser League in OG, you know. Yeah. I think it was in 2015 and OG Star League, you know. Again, Nanyama was so fine. Then Mourinho started having some bad results. Then he started throwing players under the bus. Okay, that famous interview where he criticized Eden Hazard for not tracking back and not doing enough defensive work. Yeah. Papa Yoko, Saudi Arabia, or technical director for the league, no, you about Chelsea. Emiliano. Mike, is it Michael Emiliano?
Papa Tuntum.
After Jose Mourinho sack, Obe released his statement, and I remember vividly the words in that statement. Or say it was necessary for Chelsea to part ways with the manager because at this point the manager is having a palpable discourse.
Michael Emanalo.
Emanalo. Me then almost in Nigeria. Yeah. Or say Jose Mourinho is having a palpable discourse with the players, and you can't sack 30 players and leave the manager because none of the players will break when the results is not coming. Mourinho is very vocal. Or come medium near beside say why the problem now. Mourinho can point you out and say Eden Hazard is the problem.
I think he feels to take responsibility.
Of course. Mourinho blames everyone around him except himself. And that has been his style. I don't have a problem with that. Because he feels that the players should be given more. So he blamed most of the Chelsea players, especially the senior figures, you know, said they are not really endearing themselves in the game. And Hazard, at that time, no, he was Chelsea's best player. And players have egos. Once you bruise the ego of a player as a manager, you're going to suffer. And that is what Mourinho had. From that on, no results. Chelsea had to part ways with him. He came to Manchester United. It was looking like a marriage made in heaven.
He describes his Manchester spell as one of the most successful
of course. In his career. Okay, between 2003, 2004, before Jose Mourinho moved about Chelsea, there were rumors that Alex Ferguson wanted to quit Manchester United. And the name that was being mentioned was Jose Mourinho. I remember Mourinho granted several interviews talking about the fact that his dream job was that Manchester United job. Because that Manchester United job, it was the biggest job in football back then. It was the biggest job in football back then because of the personality handling the job. Alex Ferguson, and also the stature of the club back then. So when you're Manchester United, it was a dream job for him. Or the Europa League. Or the club need the second on the league log. And he described that time as the most successful.
Yeah, it's funny, huh?
But then again, lightning struck twice. Jose Mourinho started having issues with certain players. And one of the most powerful players within the Manchester United ranks was Paul Pogba. And you know, the football aspect is not a big problem. Now legends say he's playing anti-football. Okay, that famous draw be a or Anfield.
Yeah.
Well, Georgian Club Eka say he didn't come to play football.
Parking the bus.
Of course. Jose Mourinho and Manchester United identity no boy bra. The kind of brand or the brand of football that Manchester United are known to play under Alex Ferguson. Now Mourinho be so mono. We know the brand of football Mourinho plays. It's there boy bra. It wasn't tallying. So Manchester United identity no na kakra. And once you start having issues with players again, it's going to come back to bite you. Because players, most of them say they prosper na coach they use the media. Media. You saw the stories they were writing against Mourinho.
Yeah.
This was the same Mourinho when Okoto Pogba buy and 𝐿𝐀𝐂𝐊. Now protected Pogba in the media. Yeah, brash Pogba on a defender. But when things got rough and he started benching Pogba in some games, and now they Scott McTominay bono. And then a Pogba agent Mino Raiola ever to be money Mourinho. You remember?
I do remember.
After they acquire and you play an impobiemo, a manager and then a agent and a con. And it wasn't healthy for the club. And yes, Mourinho is a fantastic manager. But you know he comes with some form of baggage. I say, Oba, there's some negativity surrounding Team Bia Obeko because of his vocal nature, his maverick nature. He doesn't shy away from things. When you are expecting Mourinho to be decent about certain things, he was as a controversy in the dorsal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't helping the Manchester United brand. For me, I wasn't surprised they sacked him, but he will still remain Manchester United's best manager post Sir Alex Ferguson era. Because Oba Europa League or the Omudi second.
Yeah.
And also, United released a statement. Then Jose Mourinho went on to join Tottenham Hotspur. And what do you put now joining Tottenham, no, there were many that said that Tottenham on a year. I am referee the was the
and Danny Levy.
Danny Levy. Yes, Osha Daniel Levy. Now Osha Mourinho. They are two vociferous characters. Daniel Levy so that character now and also ever catch a pain. Said ya oye ne mempe. Wakwa De Laurentiis.
Yeah.
They are vocal, they will tell you their mind. And I also Jose Mourinho, he's also fire. And the kind of football that Tottenham wants to play, that flashy kind of football, that flair football, no, that is not what Jose Mourinho would give you. And also, he didn't have an issue with Tottenham players, no. I put the na only players can carry no problem. Oshe Tottenham Hotspur's documentary All or Nothing.
Dele Ali.
Only Dele Ali no problem. Then put that check.
Yeah.
There was a time when Danny Rose ran an office. Emma Danny Danny Rose said, Danny Rose ran office and not tenase. No, so on can't say Danny Rose on tenase. And Danny Rose say, no about officer, more tenase na. And obisa Danny Rose say, wamani anything. Asama Danny Rose catch no. Documentary na omo po omo koshe. Asama Danny Rose catch and say, I feel some players are being favored by you because their players are week in week out. Sebe mo fanchame, they don't play anything. In some normal ball. But you still pick them to play. And Mourinho say, I know there are any decision. And Danny Rose say, your decision is saying, I am not the only one complaining. No. There are others also not happy. But maybe you want to be because you are Jose Mourinho. And Danny Rose say, yesterday they may call Daniel Levy I want to move out of the club. And Jose Mourinho say, I like honest guys. What about the catcher? But you have to see Daniel Levy. But Rose say, "Kono the kind say, and yet me nkwa ena asem we ye me ya." There are so many players out there. Eyo mo ya, but omo ntimi be kan kire. Eno so odidi mo ana wone Daniel Levy benya issue. Ewo certain decisions are not taking with regards to player selection.
Yeah.
Any other they say echo out. So with regards to player selection, a few days before Tottenham Hotspur play Manchester City in the EFL Cup final. And yes, no. So that was the first time Mourinho actually went to a club and won. They didn't win anything before he left. They issued statements. Eka said they parted ways again mutually. That was 2021. I know them mutually in my catch or Nana and brofo keke. Grandma no boka. Yasake no. Okay, Mourinho in 2021 or free or no be say, oh, Mourinho will not get any big job. Because I say no, the kind of CV Mourinho holds, no, he would always be attracting the attention of certain clubs. I didn't expect him to go to AS Roma. I expected him to go to a level above AS Roma. But then AS Roma is a decent club. Wakoho, Omunje Cup for a long time, or the Omaji Europa Conference League. Managers then will say, okay, he's come and he's done a decent job. Even with the likes of Tammy Abraham, the likes of Chris Smalling, then let's improve the squad. How many players are Beckham, Andrea Balotti, Romelu Lukaku? Now, Roma squad no kitano. It is a decent squad. It is not the best of squad as compared to Juve Muni AC Mono. But they are proud with. I think they even have a better squad than Lazio. If I am not over exaggerating. They have a better squad than Lazio. So I'm sure their fans, the owners are expecting Mourinho and the team to be doing well, especially the Italian Serie A. Currently they lie 9th and they've not won a game in their last 3 matches. And the Biano winning game, no, he still comes with a lot of baggage. And now coach already red card 10 players.
Can you imagine?
Yet me season we now coach what 3 red cards. Now player defender will crowd with team no only red card. Some catchers Mourinho comes with a lot of baggage. And only red card when you know we are. And everything that happens on the touchline antics no. Or granting interviewer, some of the things that he says no, it comes back to bite the club. So that media negativity surrounding Roma and Adrian, coupled with the result they are having now, no, I'm sure that is why they've put the plaques on Jose Mourinho. Season no, there were rumors that he could join a club in Saudi Arabia because he's gotten an offer there.
You think it's about time, right?
Me, I think it's about time he goes into national team management. I'll be happy to see Jose Mourinho manage the Portuguese national team. Now Brazil with Jumani a vacant, but as I say, yes, they are Mobi. So I'll be happy for him to manage Portugal, but then they have a manager at the moment. But the biggest question I am asking myself is, Nana, Jose Mourinho progress as a coach, share the level of the clubs that he's been coaching. Nana who say Banechi, and I mean who is I said Banechi because from Porto he made a step up to Chelsea, big club. From Chelsea he made a step up to another bigger club, which was bigger than Chelsea, Inter Milan. From Inter Milan he made a step to the biggest club in the world, Real Madrid. Then show Real Madrid no Samba to Chelsea. Chelsea is a big club, no doubt. Then he went to Manchester United, another big club. Then he came to Tottenham Hotspur, a step below Chelsea and Manchester United. He came to AS Roma, which is a step below Tottenham at the time. Anna Okono. Because Roma were struggling to even play in the Champions League. Not Tottenham, Champions League. Now Mourinho has left AS Roma. The question is where next for Jose Mourinho? I still think he has that aura around him to be able to attract a decent club. But I don't think any top club in England, I'm talking about the top 4 teams now. If I talk about Manchester City, I hope they're no go area. Arsenal, no go area. Liverpool, no go area. I don't think Aston Villa would even want to hire Jose Mourinho because Unai Emery is doing a fantastic job. I don't think Newcastle, even though they are struggling, may want to employ Jose Mourinho. They will want to stick with Eddie Howe. I don't think Manchester United would want to go back to Jose Mourinho if they part ways with Erik ten Hag because of the baggage he comes with. And I don't think Tottenham Hotspur would even want to think about re-engaging him. Because as a home put no relationship I am basa. Because not to yampia or to be the manium. No, Josiah Quaye not to be the manium because almost saying the record. So that was the only club that Jose Mourinho didn't win any title. It's only Daniel Levy cried they are sitting on rocks. I'm looking at Italy. I'm scanning the top teams in Italy, and Inter Milan no go area. AC Milan, I am thinking, could AC Milan be in for Mourinho? Because me share the brand of football that Mourinho plays.
The issues are mad.
I said, it will be a perfect marriage. Only AC Milan. I want to make sure. So only AC Milan, it could work. And AC Milan have certain players in their ranks. They are typical Jose Mourinho players who would want to work hard and die for him. Yunus Musa, and friend is saying, love to seek more, and it's our boy Olivier Giroud. They are typical Jose Mourinho players. But would AC Milan risk it all and say, let me bring Jose Mourinho in? Maybe I am looking at Napoli. But Napoli, so Papa na team ni ene diano. I'm sure ni Jose Mourinho blows no mubeto. Papa na team ni ene diano. It will be difficult for Laurentiis to work with Jose Mourinho. Because you know Mourinho wants to have control over his squad. Yeah. He wants to have total control over who comes in and who goes out. That is one of the issues he had at Tottenham Hotspur. Because Daniel Levy feels saying I'm a foul with Juma. It's the mechanic. And the Laurentiis is that type of an owner where he wants to tell you who comes in and who goes out. You don't have control over the transfer activities. And that is the kind of thing that Jose Mourinho wants. So I'm looking at and asking myself, yes, he has a rich CV. He's one of the best managers in the world. But would he be able to get a top team again to manage? Well, teams were all more decent. I mean, Bebli, even in Spain, teams were all more decent or mobile fine football. But would any of them risk it and go for Jose Mourinho? Nana, later in Yebehu. And that is the Jose Mourinho chapter. He's been fired. This is the 4th club. Yapamono. Or sharing my Nigeria career and Arsenal. No, this is the 5th club. Sorry, 5th club because Real Madrid Pamono in 2013, Chelsea Pamono in 2015, Manchester United Pamono in 2018, Tottenham Hotspur Pamono in 2021, ena ye share 2024 as so Roma and so apamono. I mean, he's declining. For a manager that was up there and beating everybody, especially his peers. No, Buomono. Say, well, Pep Guardiola more money gap because he's declining. He keeps going back and he keeps getting the sack. Once you keep getting the sack, it destroys your CV. It destroys most of the things that you work for, regardless of the fact that you are still a top manager. It's say a one-time best manager in the world. At the time, Bebli, he was regarded as the best manager in the world. At a point, they are regarded as the best manager in the world. For him to be declining, and there are question marks sometimes over Jose Mourinho's tactics, but he is that firm believer. Or no, any that former Leeds United manager, no, Chilinino. Oh, how can I forget this man's name? You say, Debbie, now you're Tikonso, no, say Nechi, and ya, no, better bucket, Marcelo Bielsa. Okay, or biography, they are firm believers of their tactics. What is almost share no, and no, a chocolate success more. The almost share that is what brought them success. So, as our tactics is cast in stone. Once and on I'm the track money. I am not going to change regardless of the fact that there are so many things that have evolved in football and they are more playing goalkeeper. Back then, no problem. No problem. Now goalkeeper need more boy, no problem. And then Manuel no mobile is more playing goalkeeper. Back then, now we are right-footed. I want number 7. Now left-footed. I want number 11.
11.
I am Robin Mobile says I who say Ribery it's me ball from the left. I am Robin to me ball from the right, and it works. And then Team Bang, which of the top teams, and a right-footed player as a number 7. And then you see inverted fullbacks. I'm not sure Jose Mourinho would even try that inverted fullback thing that Pep Guardiola Moyeno. I'm not sure Sobe try. He still stick to his old tactics now. But there are a lot of things that have evolved in football, a lot of development. But he's a firm believer into or sticking to something that he doesn't want to change.
Right.
Atalanta. Near Boo, Obakakoshia, Inter Milan. Na Simeone, Abebo, a 5-man midfield. Eddie Damien Mo, so won't ya see it? Or the Demarco Mo show because of Abebo Mikitari Mo, bear 5-man midfield. You are not going to try that. You're going to stick to your old ways. So Nanayan share the next club that Jose Mourinho would manage. I am interested in that because Romano was a step below Tottenham Hotspur. Now I want to see where he goes again, whether he goes a step up or a step below. But it will be difficult for him to get a top team in Europe. Nana Adu Nana of a private jet Bedu Cameroon. I still think it is a total
Abidjan.
Yeah, Abidjan. Sorry. In as much as I would blame Onana for all this, I blame the Cameroonian FA for accepting in the first place to allow Andre Onana to stay at Manchester United for that long. And Anasana Kudus, West Ham 4% now kakra. But the Ghanaian FA declined. And he can't say a penny term. He came. But for the Cameroonian FA to accept, say, Andre Onana enter Manchester United, no at that time, no, that is where I have a problem with. And now, Nipa Okame Onana down. 𝐿𝐿 Diouf.
Wow.
And now, you say, Omu free media tunnel ni mubano. Or kasa, or corridor so. Kind of French mu. Say, if you know you are not going to be, you are not going to allow me to be part of the team. I don't know mommy for a private jet buy. And they say, 𝐿𝐿 Diouf Fred Kojalan say, hey, massa. Memfa disunity ma Mokampo. You've drawn your game. The people back in Cameroon are not happy. The last thing they want to hear
is troubles around.
Trouble is disunity in the camp. It's negative news. Because already negative news in the Kwasama about draw.
Bad vibe, huh?
Bad vibe. It's a large job of Echinijra, and there are videos to that. I know to say, Master, we've all played in teams. You're selecting. I may a problem. But you know which time to address certain issues. And you know answer about out to Abekasa. After that interaction, conversation with 𝐿𝐿 Diouf, no, or granting interview, no, Kasa, there are so many things I want to say, but I'm not going to say it now. But I think Onana's inclusion, even in this Africa Cup of Nations, is a disrespect to the Cameroonian people. it's a total disrespect to the Cameroonian people. 2019 was a sign of Moji, no. I mean, he wasn't even part of the squad. No count. He's resigned from the national team before. And also resigned in the decision of by. The Cameroonian people should not make Andre Onana feel superior. There are better players who have played the national team before Andre Onana. And then national team na Patrick Mboma Munyina Bobino. Of course. Jeremy Nzitab Mubobino. Samuel Etofius Mubobino. Rigobert Song Mubobino. So who is Andre Onana? He's not that special. And no buyer Fabrice Ondua that ponima on Tiasian. And you know Fabrice Ondua too had this doctrine to say Andre Onana from the Barcelona Academy because of the Samuel Etofius connection. The Samuel Eto'o Academy and the
Ondua no clan. Me cousin knew Nana.
Me cousin no.
Me relative.
Mini pass and cousin no. And he also went through the Barcelona runs. It's also what that training no.
Yeah.
But my problem is that and come here Cameroonian FA na Nana and come the Kabeto Castle. Why? Onana never my Cameroon idea AFCON Nana. Their national teams are might say certain comments will be to because even if you are Maradona and you do apply as Alex Ferguson or catch David Beckham, say even if you are the best player and you don't follow my principles, you are out of the club. David Beckham KK bottle in 2003 a couple of Ferguson I will bench no. And you know when Ferguson catch David Gill say I want him out of my club. The next season Antonio. Don't let Andre Onana feel that special. Many Rigobert Songa. I would have written back to Andre Onana and said, we thank you for your services with the national team.
I think Onana seems to be getting some kind of backing from the federation president.
Yeah, Samuel Eto'o nipa no.
Yeah.
Let's not mess with Samuel Eto'o. It is true Samuel Eto'o that Onana got to. Obo the Samuel Eto'o Fields Academy. Cameroon. And Barcelona for the bar scouts in the bar. And no so penno. And no. When he opted out of the national team, no. Young friend no. On never go be so nya issue World Cup. Yes, you nya ball na. Or so person pass it. Ball playing goalkeeper. And I go be song so say master. We am goalkeeper dia. Boom boom. Eba bobo ni sim o pass we train here just say ya me no ntwe and also those ways are cake any the money free camp no to feels the money buy
yeah
eto ne ka kire we go be song say o de yenya bibia money kan yen san frɛ no it is because of Eto feels that he is there. It's in the constituency no and then the stronghold or the about national team but it's not right. It's a disrespect to your people. Then the AFCON comes around just once every 2 years. Do you want to tell me, sir, if you are away for that 1 month, you are going to lose your spot at Manchester United totally?
No.
Them cry show man. Would that put him cry show? Show man. Maybe the AFCON would even be a breath of fresh air. I remember that opportunity to reassess yourself and come back. Now, so what Japan at now? No, the Cameroonian people should stand their ground. It's about time when says one moment go for bluff film also. Akwara obo Liverpool matip. Wan kasa on national team no. Wan mo man je AFCON.
Omoji.
Ono kwa na chupo mo team nyino mo ja iboda wo. Chupo mo team nyina ja iboda ama Clinton Ngie mu na be boy. But the Cameroonian national basogog mo and e be bo man omoji AFCON.
That's right.
Ngaju mo. But they still won. So we are national team, I'm player, a club level, but as a national team, no, you have to show that the nation is bigger than every player.
Right.
And I am one Okasa.
Also, need team in your training.
Also, the team in your training. Only an excuse. He's playing actively at Manchester United, so he doesn't need any training, and he's not new till he's not new to the Cameroonian national team, so he should be imposed. Off a private jet about 15 hours to a game. Only team in your training, own by camp. Yeah, my own name. Fisoya Wine, Peter Schmeichel, Oliver Kahn. Andre Onana no who knows Anna. I was very happy we got the songs to this ground and they didn't allow some way. If it's left with the song one and now only his position on Andre Onana and call my Onana main national team. If not for Samuel Eto'o who feels Onana is still a young goalkeeper, 27 years. he still has a lot to offer. And the boy,
interestingly,
yeah,
in sections of the media in Cameroon and the general public,
yeah,
there's also this feeling say, "Oh no, we go be song crowd." And you say, "Eto na na down for kono so kro, won't me main team no crowd."
what is what bro was at up to now, yeah, that's so count. Say he's not the rightful owner to be the Cameroonian national team. I would say Eto, entina ono so wo. Eti wana maybe next game or starting the team near training and we go be song fele say obedemu dia fine, but be a coach, no coach will allow, no coach should allow the 15 hours to a game only omunye training. But you found to pomo. That is totally not right. And I mean for Algeria the anyway. And I was disappointed.
You think Buna just disallowed go?
Anka mi donya mi say we are you disallow go bia. You disallow go bia F. Madonya.
Are you swearing?
Madonya me already so. Mo fan cheme Madonya me.
No.
Me who go I disallow F to say ni go ni da.
No, that's the
bicycle kick.
The most beautiful disallowed go in the world.
Me dey me say ko munyai. Enye hwe de ko munya go no ma ye ni enka South Africa ni ahye go a efe na Puskas award no yes kan mram bi. It was a beautiful goal no share. But then I was disappointed in Algeria, especially Riyad Mahrez.
After taking the lead, I thought they could have killed the game.
Especially in Riyad Mahrez. One goal no share no.
One pass to Bunaja, one control, second touch, bam.
Beautiful goal and no share. And at that point I thought the floodgates had opened. But in the second half, the Angolan coach, Suarez Goncalves, I mean, he was brilliant with the substitutions. Nana, me say no, he's the reason why Angola got that draw. He's clearly the reason why Angola got that draw. That Mabululu now didn't pay muno. I mean, the boy
came off the bench.
Fire. He came from the bench and he brought fire into the game.
See how he struck the ball?
Of course. He came with fire. And how they even won the penalty, it was on the blind side of the defender. He didn't even see the player. Yeah. And in the second half, Angola was a transformed team. Do you know what they did?
Tell me, sir.
They decided to now take the game to Algeria. At first, now somebody too much respect Emma Algerians, knowing that we are playing against Algeria. They have Riyad Mahrez, they have Bentaleb, they have Benassa. These are big name players, almost big teams in Europe. It's nobody respectable, and they were in their shelf. But they found out, say, Algeria for the crown, or backline in the pace. So in the second half, Angola were going with the long balls, and Algeria were struggling with that because Mambolulu no pace. So anytime they struck the ball, long, it was Algeria for the break. So when they got that penalty and it was 1-1, I knew Algeria were going to suffer. But I was disappointed with Riyad Mahrez with that final free kick no munyaye no. That free kick no munyaye na.
I thought he was going to blast it like he did in that semi against Nigeria.
2019.
I didn't know I didn't right-footed guy and a boy.
Yeah, papa.
It was good. It was a good delivery. It
was a good delivery.
Okay, Mahrez boy, I think it could have been better.
Of course, Riyad Mahrez with his left foot, he has this wicked shot.
Okay.
And Obo bend the ball no.
Right.
So I was sad say when I'm bend the ball no and twat him.
Over Paba. Your father is on the line. Let's go to the phone lines and speak to our head of sports and our man on the beat in Abidjan, the legendary Yao Mpovuankra. Yao Star, good morning. Hello, Yao.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm in Zone Kaka.
Oh, Yana Boko dear.
To be able.
Oh,
now say.
My feel me there, my feel is I'm coming in the obet my but who near is a me fine.
Ha ha ha. Say over Ivory Coast any moment from now.
Ankara. Yam Pacho. 2 days after Ghana lose to a year Cape Verde, if it is our brain, I see and nano pay. Mr. Wa, Diana Kosu team no camp. Obet my boy on Komokakra.
So no matter that say, but yeah, and so excuse me voice. I'm say, Ivory goes excitement. No, I actually my voice. Yeah, Nana, as you know, this AFCON has already produced some very interesting results and some very interesting games. And of course, the Black Stars of Ghana, and you're making headlines, not for the right reasons, but for the upset, because many bookmakers, betting people, would not have betted that Ghana would lose by 2-1 against Cape Verde, but one is here. That's exactly what happened. And since then, a lot has happened in the camp. But for the players, starting with players, they've responded reasonably well after the match. A couple of them granted interviews, but notably, perhaps the most notable, Jordan Ayew. He was close to tears. He was very emotional, explaining and being apologetic. But 𝐒𝐏𝐕𝐄, when you watch that interview, you realize maybe all is not well. But he was trying hard to shield it. What he said, amongst others, the most significant thing is look at our players. So many of them are very young. This is their first AFCON. So this is the best we can. And easy. This is their first AFCON. It's not easy. So many new and young players. This is the best that we can do. So let's be patient. So I said, no. He's just saying the materials we have, ABIA and do that level. I'm more expecting. You understand? But I feel this is what he was trying to convey in that interview in the mix zone after the match. A lot of these players are young, they are new. This is their signal. He was apologetic and was saying, against Egypt, they have no choice but to recover and bounce back. That was from Jordan Ayew, one of the most experienced players in camp, of course, after the Nina Andre de Ayew. And of course, the incident of the abuse back from the stadium, about hotel, abuse. People are saying Coach 𝐶𝐕𝐄 was attacked. He was attacked. And some people actually think it was a physical. It was not physical, but our Kenyan National Security officer attached to the Black Stars from Ghana. If he hadn't intervened, it could have been something else. And it was quite an unfortunate incident where a fan, allegedly, I'm saying allegedly because Nipa no share Ghana jersey, and he came in as a supporter. But Nana, all things aside, the question that a lot of people are now asking is that hotel security, before anybody enters, you are either a guest and you show your room number or some ID, or you're part of the national team, or you have an official role to play. And to be say, the Kojimi accreditation on the second day, I arrive here. That is Manji before the opening match. Manji on the opening day, but the day after, and I'm the Kojimi. So I had to always, prove my identity and tell them Techno 4. I'm here with Techno. Now, I was scrutinized before I was allowed into the hotel. So the question is, the person who was alleged to be a supporter, a fan, was he allowed in because he's a fan, he's a supporter? On what basis? Ayenim said, you cannot enter the Black Stars Hotel without the adequate, accreditation or ID, or Obifi, Black Stars or Nigeria camp, or, has to come to the entrance and confirm, say, indeed, the person you are saying you are, before you are allowed to enter the Black Stars camp or allowed to enter the hotel. So, Nana, that is what happened. And this is an issue that has, drawn a lot of media attention, both at home in Ghana and in Ivory Coast, and of course, throughout the tournament, because anything could have happened if 𝐶𝐕𝐄 had not, if the National Security Officer had not intervened to avert a physical contact between the coach and this fan who was shouting abuse that I cannot repeat on air.
Mabusa Sani Pakroy has his identity be found?
Nana, up to now, unless they be a Tamameno Casina, GFA, official reports or complaints about the incident, and speaking to manager of the Pullman, like I said, the rest is up to Football Association. And now basically, if Coach 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄 wants to press charges, obviously he will tell the FA, or make a complaint. I mean, you don't know, but so far, officially, to the best of my knowledge, an official complaint to the police has not been made, unless it's been made and it's been kept quiet. And identity of assailants, and I said the identity of the made public, but it was in the open glare of many people, some officials, guests at the hotel, a few media persons from Ghana and Nigeria, and the local journalists. A few of them were still around at that time of the evening. Black Stars players and officials, Umufi Stadium, Eba Hotel.
Wow. And the Black Stars players, Nankasano, how have they reacted to, this development? It's almost saying, almost say,
Nana, Black Stars players now are more around without mentioning any names. Obviously, now they were in a shock. Now, since May started a cover Black Stars from Egypt 2006, I have not encountered, experienced, or seen anything like this. Yes, I mean, supporters can shout abuse from the stands. They're not happy, they can shout and scream. If you are right, the closest they'll get is if your players not ever through bus and are almost saying they are getting off the bus. A few fans might shout negative comments, but not to that level. Because it's a card there. There would have been physical contact between the assailants and 𝐶𝐈𝐄. The players visibly shaken. I've not spoken to any player about the incident because it's a deliberate. I've seen them, I've had a few words, but my incident number, because I feel that it is psychologically not right and not important. The most important thing is the next game. In your interactions, and it's all about Egypt. It's all about the next game. And I think they look positive, they sound positive, but my little experience from following the Black Stars all these years, and I said, Nana, we're on a knife's edge. Into I said, officials need to do extra hard. They need to work hard to work on the boys, psychologically, and psych them up and put this incident behind them. Because one shot, it may look as if they may even feel threatened that 𝐾𝐂𝐊 and 𝐶𝐈𝐕𝐄, it might affect them. So I know it is something that the officials, the technical team, the GFA must work on the boys and let them forget about this incident. Let them forget about the 2-1 defeat and the negative energy that has transpired. They have families, they have friends, they communicate. So obviously, they know the vibe and mood out there. And I'm hoping at least by Thursday, and then I go back to at least normal for them to focus only on beating the Pharaohs of Egypt.
Right. Now, and yeah, second part of the show, I focus on the Black Stars. No, the Yebusane said, then was a Ghana etimi ya, wobetimi ashe Egypt, nempo, and it has so be also Ghana be qualifier, etimi abaminti, and sani beja mo akono. Una obeying team, no, you've watched them train, you've been with them. Diempa and Ghana bet Maya who met me the Egypt chaka from considering how the Egyptians also played against Mozambique.
Nana, it's a multi-million-dollar question. Excellent question, but the answer obviously is not with me or you, but straight and direct. And sorry, Jordan Ayew. So let me go back to what he said about but whatever it is, no, we need. Then he says we'll try our best. And you know, and I sense in that comment, Nana, say the players, they may not be happy about certain things, but to me, because under normal circumstances, Jordan may not make reference to the fact that this is what we have. And when any players will be able to me about apart from and a lot of them are young players, but inexperienced. That was his reference. So, Coach Chris Hughton, Boateng, Didi Dramani, the rest of the technical team, supported by the local coaches, including Prosper Ogun and the rest, they must find a way to get into the head of these boys, to get into their souls and their hearts and lift their spirits. Because capability, they have the capability, no doubt. It's Black Stars boys on a good day, only number 90%, 95%. On a good day, not even 100%, we can score any team in the tournament. But the problem, Nana, is the selection of the men to execute the tactics of the coach. Into first match, no try before kickoff, you would hear comments that are we sure this selection can beat Cape Verde? Question marks about Ransford, not personally, but on more Nations Cup that on started Black Stars game now. He's never been in a high pressure game like this before. Tactically, positions of yes, if you look at the positioning, was it the best for the players to give their best, output? All of these on an opening day against a team that we know is one of the most progressive in the last 2 years, or one of the most improved sides on the African continent. Consistency, fluidity. Egypt also played not their best game, but one thing about Egypt and our North Africans, they say they can always improve and they can always improvise and they have the experience. Unlike Black Stars, Egypt at least has a reasonably stable side. Mo Salah didn't have the best of games, but Sakwan, a very dangerous woman or half chance in any game, he'll hurt you. So the Egyptians also almost face a backlash. They are having the same situation. Say, Mama Mozambique, Mozambique, ever share Almighty Egypt. I will do final in the last edition. So they are also under pressure. But they escaped with a draw, and they may not necessarily be desperate for a win. Ghana must win. Egypt might get away with a draw. So the game is clearly in the way it's there. The Egyptians will not have to open up, desperately looking to beat the Black Stars. A draw would be okay, not the best, but the unbefa. Will a draw be good enough for Ghana to meet Mozambique in the last game? I think it's risky. The Black Stars must raise the game and prove everyone wrong. Prove the Christian must come to the party and do the right thing. Select the right players. The FA president must put his foot down and say, look, I'm the one. My doorstep, the backstops. My head is on the chopping block. I'm the president of the FA, and this is what the technical team, and this is what we've seen, and this is how we want you to present it. If you think it's interference, then, my friend, you have to resign or step aside. But we've seen, sir, you need help in this direction. It is not interference, it is support. It's and let's go with this pattern or this, and let's go out and play. If the selection comes and the GFA is not happy with it, I think for the first time as a journalist, this interference issue, I've always been against it. I don't think it's interference, but caution to supporting and guiding the coach. Say, Pacho, first game, no, we have experienced players on the bench. We have experienced players who can start, who have also come and spoken and given out their hearts. Say they want to give 100%, but this is what the coach wants. So it's a dicey situation. If we get our selection right, if the boys are mentally and psychologically, emotionally pumped up for victory, I don't think Egypt is such a big obstacle. They are not as they were, at the last AFCON or even 5 or 6 years ago. They are also on a decline of sorts, and this is the best time to face them.
All right, y'all. Yeah, that's it. But beyond the football, life in Abidjan, it's saying Adriani DNA transportation. Yes, traffic there. Mufano kwa muko baby a chance mo kwa kodru fa kwa mboza mukono.
Oh, traffic in their problem. Adriani is A1. I mean, and as for the side attractions, I know side bar behind the scenes, it's great. There's a very friendly, lovely vibe about everything. Opening match, they say volunteers now on mobile, they always want to take photos with you. Either you're in a Ghana jersey or a techno branded apparels. They wanted to take photos. Where are you from? And excuse me, my English is not good. You teach me English, I teach you French, which has been like the motto, especially beautiful girls. Okay, teach me English or teach me French. I teach you English. No money. Yeah, no money. I'm sure when you join us, do airports, Crown there. If you see any of the volunteers, because they speak English, all of them either have English classes or they attend, their course requires some sort of English. And they are so happy, say, Nana Darkwa would teach them some English and they would also help you with French. Nana, only problem. You don't have a problem. And they are very beautiful, very lovely girls. I don't know if Anope is right to use the word. Very sexy, ladies. Ivory Coast, they're Bonnie B and Nana.
Yeah. Wow. Then you must be enjoying yourself.
Oh, Nana, so himself me there. Be an old man. It's a me corner. But of course, if you bring yourself, we'll speak English and French.
Oh, you're cracking me up. Yeah. Now, on a more serious note, Tony Bebli just prompted me to talk to you about something that has developed in the media. You see, supporters are buying the they are stranded. Na omoduani diemu, you see, ebi krasi wo munya ompeso musam bafie kra. Have you been able to establish contact with these fans and womo tinabre kra eti saying?
Nana, I can confirm, say, a couple of messages. I mean, the issue was, say, because distance from Bibiomo to the and first day they had challenges. But since then, update. There are two particular Aprigo Chakapamane, Klala, a musician and a supporter. And what they said is that they are it's being addressed. Challenges is being addressed. Normally, it was the issue of distance. The others I have heard and I have read, but me now supporters base here, official base of the supporters. I'm yet to go there because Yabano Techno, and so they've taken over the AFCON. 𝐿𝐏𝐻 Diouf, Asamoah Gyan, �𝐀𝐂𝐊, you name it. They are all ambassadors of Techno at this AFCON. Omobo charity match. Techno promised $10,000 per goal, and it was 5 goals in that game. 3 goals for the Legends United, and then 2 goals for the Dreams team. that is, the what's it called, the media stroke, techno officials and other CAF officials in that dimension. So 5 goals were scored, 50,000. But the big news is that over the next 5 years, CAF, with the help of tech football pitches across Africa, and that is a fantastic one. Techno development is their key strategy, and beyond that, almost say after tournaments, they'll be going to their various countries, and Ghana is one of those, and specifically development, youth football, juvenile football, infrastructure, and the rest. They are ready to spend and to fund it. As now, Techno is the number one, mobile phone, or let's say, mobile phone operator or dealer, mobile phone in Ghana, in Africa, which is a huge one for them. Smartphone number one in Africa is a big one for them, and they are making sure that they are connecting with the youth, with the fans through AFCON 2023. So with the fans challenge, the Ghana fans challenge, I'll get an update and bring you the very latest as to what's happening on the ground. But yes, and the reports have come and said they are having challenges, and some are indeed stranded.
Yampov, thank you very much for this comprehensive report from Abidjan. That's it. Nyankupo ya aduma china so yebeba na de obia yaba beji ewo nche. Nyankupo nsha bibiri yao.
Nana, me chairman in our studio. Bye.
All right, boss. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's it. Yampov, head of sports and our man on the beat from Abidjan. Yao, Techno, any kutenemu. Now, Unimbibi, have you passed by the Techno office? What? It's for more multi program. I'm in Techno office now. What Dakuman Junction no? For come to mobile phones no. I have remember mobile phone say Unigana o. He say Sibio my office no. I have a to phone na. Uto crown coffee. Ubetna waji ahanfo apam wansa. Zanze eho Sibia YF no. Na phones are would one penny for crabba sambe gu no. Now ba Sibia baby girls ni betimi agigi we ni no prison Rocky. Odicheba Pescana bra beju phone wati. Come on 20 near the coach Black Stars players. Nebi gua bebrebe. Grab one, and 2024 will be a fantastic year for you. I am Max FM 89.7, 29 after 9. Is it? Come here, I said, me boy, no, na me born in tofa. I go see Mutala Yakubu submission. Me boy. Into Josiah, overcome na uya na yatia befie by 11 there. Me just any tia sima. Yede Black Stars. Nani domestic transfer window. Ne close to you no. Yede preparatory cry. Into this sheba me unko.
Level.
Oh, I know you somehow. Miss Mama Kasa kusi.
Onana Diaka betimi afa be 29 minutes.
And I come in pen cry.
Oh, Devi.
Obako Nana kwa azem 30 minutes.
Ni hunti na me buy.
And Nigeria bobo wa hu.
Ni hunti na me buy.
Cameroon ni Guinea boy wa hu.
Me de misi Onana. Se me de metena se Onana hunti. Na news regarding Onana ntina.
But me bisi misa asimu. Unye convince wakasa otie. Wakona na sema sama eni ase ukakra pa obi atimi se oboy omunya no time boy no
enyo time o de bi na subo oda nidie we o time no suban Onana eda nidie. Imagine say Onana e Black Stars no ya die we nana you wouldn't be happy at suban we obeda ndi wo Black Stars nana obi enu obepene so because I don't understand what the guy is doing nana.
All right.
Mami nche for an pay.
Yes,
me family French lessons no. Me find seriously. We could do Abidjan.
You learn how to speak French.
I'll teach you English.
Well.
Oh, now then, you're born and got the cause of good. And you're born and got with the symbol. This is more than football.
There are matches after the good matches.
Hey. I'm on 4x4, so what I know we interpreters are what check for bro.
I tell you.
And easy. Nana.
Yes, sir.
Let me do the Mourinho story.
All right,
Kakra.
Sir. All right, sir.
Nana Mourinho doesn't want to change. Papa ni a friend Mourinho no. I say Subano nemu no. Nana says I ever diamano. That man won't change from the things he's doing.
Because I don't understand how a coach, Nana, in 2 seasons, 2 seasons, and you're full. In 1.5 seasons, Nana, will be shown 8 red cards. Coach original touchline, need the answer of tactics. A tweaky information teams needing about adjustments in Kakanka or touchline. Nana, in 2 seasons, Mourinho in a red card back 8. It's so shocking, Mentias. Nana, and if you own a team and Mourinho is your coach, not disciplinary issues, well, young fat performance and tone results and tone change. No coach, anytime you obey Gina touchline and obey your red card, will you keep him? It's going to be difficult to keep a coach who every 2-3 weeks they are just obeying a red card. No, what's the fee? Now at the end of the day, the team in the heading so far. I wasn't surprised. Roma have parted ways with him, especially after that performance against AC Milan. And now they are lining up. You can say Daniel De Rossi. You can say one Roma legend.
Yeah, he's a club legend.
Yeah, he's a club legend to be the next coach.
This guy is not interested in coaching, right? Francesco Totti.
No, Totti, they know the director.
Yeah.
Man. I
don't
know it. No, a big man. I don't see
big boy.
He is a big guy.
Yeah.
Totti is a big guy. I don't see him coaching. Players they don't have
Zlatan.
Zlatan is a big guy.
Cool.
You can say consultant.
Wow, that's awesome.
For the new owners, AC Milan new owners.
That's fantastic.
He's a consultant for them, the new owners. Omo Dimbisa here from. Now I was going through Jose Mourinho's you can say win success rate throughout in managerial career, and I realized at Roma and only the lowest. Just a Roma games or boy and when we need half people, 49% at Roma.
Yeah,
which is quite low for a manager like Jose Mourinho. Especially looking at how he started over there. The way Oshasia on your first ever European title. Now this Roma team is a team per almost standard. Oma missing out in the Champions League 2 years. They need to go back there. At least for 2 years now. Because this Roma team from 2014-15 season, Nana ABC 2018-19 season, they played consistently in the Champions League. And one of the seasons was when they knocked Barcelona out with goal difference at Manolas. SS So you come back to Roma.
That poetic description of
that it was iconic. It was an iconic moment. By Peter Drury. And Okobosa guy did you be a Peter Drury.
Yeah.
Okobosa match now. That's one of the moments to be a heading.
That's right.
Now this is a team. Roma are not a bad side. But then Jose Mourinho need the way or handle Roma team. No, it looks like the owners are not really happy with what he's doing. It's good to give us our first European title. It's an achievement. It's the biggest achievement, or one of the biggest achievements in the history of what? The Roma club.
Yeah.
But then aside that, what is Mourinho adding to the club? That's another question we should be asking. A team in the last 10 Champions League seasons, they played 5 consecutively until the last time in 2019. Oh, boy. But then, Nana, look at the other teams. They find themselves in the same bracket with Roma. Napoli is one of them. Atalanta is one. Lazio is one of them. Nana, Fiorentina is another one. Let's share the progress our teams were making under their respective coaches. And you see that maybe Roma have been even patient with Mourinho.
Oh, really?
Napoli won the Scudetto last season. Lazio are still in the Champions League. Meboa. Atlanta are playing some good football. Last 2 seasons they were in the Champions League quarterfinals. So share achievements where you never compare Mourinho at Roma. And you understand, say, maybe it looks like the PS, Roma, you can say direct rivals, no. Inter, AC, Juve, Fiua, they are all making progress, and Roma are still not making progress. And to compound that, already now, performance didn't go in. Now we say the red card. And you see, Mourinho, who studied Mourinho throughout the managerial career. Now, when the guy wants to be sacked, or starting a putty up attitude, be I want to ask you.
Antics.
Be a
tactics.
Because our Spurs, he was actually fighting his players. At Chelsea, it happened. Or Eden Hazard more, they had issues. So at some point, what he say, not the only loyal player, no, William. Because William was the only one who was actually playing in that season. He won the best season. Beside that, anytime Mourinho wants to be fired, Nana, at Manchester United, it was Luke Shaw, it was Paul Pogba. At Roma, he is having issues with Belotti, Renato Sanchez. On one compatriot, on the field also. He's even having issues with the boy. Now, the Oshe Syria, the last 2 seasons, player when you the most red cards. Your friend Ruan or boss Sassuolo when you 4 red cards.
Wow.
Moreno when you 8.
Interesting.
The Moreno Bomacho, Nana Uncha, Unyashi. That's why in 2 seasons you've been sent off 8 times. Nana, no team in Europe will condone this attitude. And you see, it looks like say Adiane Bobaba, the guy is so smart, he knows how to play himself into it. Say Bobaba, when we say results in Goye, because Nyama Morino to be a more red card. The last time they won, I think they went to Monza, also one of the teams, and they won. He was agitating the fans.
Wow.
And it's against the rules. You know, Morino knows the rules. Obia, when he was at Chelsea, Nana ultimately catching the players anytime he able to airball. That time was it John Terry and 𝐾𝐂𝐊. He tells them to what? To go down simultaneously. Because in football, when you go down, 2 players are on the way. Referee Emma playing and twice. Look at the guy's smartness. Most of the coaches didn't even know this. Me, I didn't know this until just recently. Say 2 players in the form, you 2 airball, not 2 players in the form. You're betting foul now my heading. Chelsea. Can you just imagine see guy na Jimudo and Nana Moreno is a smart guy.
It's a matter of being smart. Yeah, like
no, he's a smart guy. Moreno is before Obedreno, coaches know. I think the tactics and Ama Wake Chikaka. But in terms of the game, going beyond just tactics, Nana Moreno is one of the guys they understand football. Moreno really on the game now say, and you can't argue. Moreno understands the basics of what? Of football. But then Nana attitude no. Because if Moreno is not fighting with the general manager, he's fighting with one star in the player. If he's not fighting with one star in the player, he's having attitude issues. And after this Roma job, Nana, I don't see the team Obelandi Moreno, if not a Saudi club or a national team in Europe, honestly. Looking at his record from Chelsea, the second stint at Chelsea, to Manchester United, to Tottenham Hotspur, and then to Roma. Nana, I'm struggling to see because Mutala was mentioning Napoli, and I doubt that Napoli will go in for Moreno. Looking at almost standards in recent times, any the kind of the brand of football or mobile, they wouldn't go. And you have AC Milan, who also have a coach who won the Scudetto with them for the first time in a decade, in Stefano Pioli. Nana, they are not going for Moreno. They wouldn't want to lower their standards because Moreno is not the coach. Nana, Obana or Pamona,
Moreno is Otifi on your Juma.
As is Otifi. But the guy doesn't care.
I'm friend I don't know Chris to Abidjan.
Now, before Thursday and now Thursday. Osimuna by West. Also, the Oman national team job. He's one of the coaches that I envisage say national team job will beat me. Why? Because he knows how to play cup games.
But he has a weird perception about national team football.
It's boring to him.
He says also to me it's not more matches.
That is the 8 months. He feels like it's boring. That's why he went to take the Roma job. Roma Moreno had offers from national teams, but he turned them down because he feels like na they be a just a young international breaker. The guy wants to be active. That's right. And Nana Yankano Moreno at his age 62 he looks even way younger. Because he's an active guy. Because Moreno me a cat was a papa with the 62 and
right.
But winning. So with the Roma Moreno issues there, because I'm looking at the records now. At Roma, yes, he had a very, very healthy goal difference, plus 60 in all competitions. But then the wins were not forthcoming. And as I said, they were blowing hot and cold, Bisano. And then he winning. Me, I got 3 games without winning. At home, you were drawing to a team like Atlanta, whilst you should be winning. AC Achiwashe or 3-1. So even Europa League players now no more than Nana. As a more theater, they are even falling below. It's a good thing they are in the knockout stages of the Europa League. But then you can't trust Moreno because I'm sure that Europa League 1 koje. Na league no grama ko dia 10th. So I think that maybe that was the best thing they had to do in terms of just parting ways with him. And offers a bar from Saudi Arabia. Maybe the guy would accept it because Papa don't even know. And anyone was of a console of a Jimmy Dio or Yetiani Edini Hong Kong or Saudi Arabia. Because Mourinho, there, he knows how to make the headlines. He really knows how to do that. Nana, I don't want to finish my submission without talking about Andrew Nana. With the Mr. Fachemi.
Oh, this is bad.
But what's that? A namesake. In Tiana me bashing. I say me kaiwana me person me slow down kakra. But yan so do dance my home now. Be afro Nana. If you are be afro Nana, it's no be say no relate to Nana. I'm say Debbie. Debbie will carry the obobo na wenga. Onano iki. Nana Onana hard. Onana hard. And I don't understand what Onana is doing. Nana. It looks like there's still an issue, Nana, within the Cameroonian national team. Wow. And if this tournament, Nana Cameroon and Minima, this Onana issue is one of them. Wow. Okay, World Cup, they were in poor position to qualify. On the last game, Nomukobo against, was it? Which game Nomukobo ya? You no? They
Brazil no same film.
They won that game by a goal to 0, but then they still missed out. Nana, you ask yourself, what is wrong with this Cameroonian national team? But then, Nana, the first person I'll blame is Samuel Eto'o.
Wow.
Nana, I'll blame Samuel Eto'o. Because imagine, say, less than 2 years ago, Yakubu tournament, you have a coach in the team. Coach now setting up the team. What tactics, how to go about things, Nana. Now there is one player over there who feels a coach in the tactics, no. And what? Nana, how do you keep such a player in the team? That was the reason why he was sent away. Now fast forward, just over a year, another tournament. Then the FA president will try to convince the coach to bring that guy again. Nana, Oba, question say, is he coming to play from the back? Or Bebonia Rigobert some person on board? And as Onana na Bebo Ten Hag system Libya. Cameroon. That's the question we need to be asking. Has that issue been solved? Onana eba Cameroon no. Is he coming to play because 2022 World Cup? You can't say Onana, unya bom. Onana so say there be. Ono yatete no Barcelona Academy. Oh, yem bom wo ho into your pass. And the coach is like, no, that's not how I want you to play it. Now Onana is back again, and you see, near me Yakra say, near me Ebufukra is the fact that Onana didn't even handle the AFCON. Say AFCON na shas here, and you stayed in post for Manchester United, and you consider to. And you come and now you feel like you're borrow into over starting ahead of Ondua. Nana, Ondua is a legend. Oko Cameroon, he's a legend. Onana. If Onana doesn't know, the guy is a legend because in 2017 he was the one in post. Nana,
when they won
it at age 22, and even as at that time, no about 40 years. Nana, no about 40 years was Spain. You Onana, you were playing in you can say Ajax. The guy was playing 40 year league football. It was Spain. The guy played 6 games. Nana, he conceded only 3 goals in the tournament. And nobody G. So the guy in the books of Cameroon, Nana, that guy is a legend. Onana, oh yeah, come on, Nana, this is what considered 47 goals alone for Manchester United. Who games are about to do 40? What considered 47? And you're more flight. You come to Cameroon, you can say Abidjan, and you feel say you are good enough to man the post. Nana, you see, I must want to because at least show some respect. Oh, by own training here, Nana, and you expect no. How would that make the players feel? Although I'm on the other players, no, Nana, how would that make them feel? Is Onana the best player in this Cameroonian team? No, I doubt. Because even when in 2017 they didn't have the likes of Joe Matip, when Cameroon felt say, oh, you're your best players, Matip Musi Omombo, Nana, they went all the way to win the AFCON tournament. Nanya Onana who consider who same you say Onana in same you your boy are now fan. And you go to the camp and you expect say you start a game like that. No, how? It doesn't happen anywhere. Mean TV that. Obenlandi just a few hours to game, and you expect say wow training here just because you've been in post against Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League, and when you consider 2 goals, Nana into Obechi, come on,
Fabrice Ondua.
No, but the guy is a good goalkeeper, Nana.
He's an AFCON winner.
No, he's an AFCON winner. Something Onana has never done in his career. Onana and Jibida.
He's played in the FIFA Confederations Cup.
Nana, debut. The guy we are talking about. You see, Nana, I was looking at the guy's teams at Wabo. See, Nana, the guy's profile is always low. The guy's profile is always low. But then he's one of the players, and Nana, don't judge him by his club team football. You'll be wrong. Because in 2017, 3 goalkeepers are, you can't say, Cameroon, they call tournament, no. Nana, one of them was even playing, as at that time, no Boma Cotton Sport, the Luanda.
Oh, okay. Cotton Sport, the Garua.
Yeah. It's later, no, after that tournament, no, you move in po airing, a fiho. And you do know the shocking thing?
But he's always been at the youth ranks.
You see, Onana fee say,
honestly, if you to academy, who?
yeah, Onana fee say, guy na ye kana say, Nana, the last time we check club football, Ondoa, the last time we check club football was in the Latvian top flight, July 2023.
Oh no, Ocheboache.
It's also fee say, you see, one iti adi na didi ni chim say, guy na mene ne preni mpono, me Manchester United. The guy's last way of it was for order. Club near friend order. It was Latvian top flight.
Wow.
2023 July. And a guy near there, 3rd July to be precise. And a guy near there,
and now he signed for Nîmes Olympique, right?
Yeah, now it's all names. So as I say in France. But then Nana, that is not enough grounds to what? I say, who say you are better than the guy. But Nana, the guy's records and achievements speaks for itself. What J. Afconda? In that tournament, Nana, he considered the least number of what? Of course, 3 goals in 6 games. Nana, is the disrespect for me? Onana, you see, my Ten Hag is in soccer. If I'm blaming Eto, I'll blame Ten Hag. Because me, I have not seen say football has evolved to the stage. Say Nana will be peja as a who Nana goalkeeper da. Nya Ederson mo ni Alisson mo yan yomode.
Ederson won the goalkeeper of the year yesterday.
Yesterday at the FIFA best award.
Yeah.
It Ederson ni Alisson mo Nana yan yomode. Say Onana say ene ono na ewiase nya onu no nim che oche Manchester United. Season no yendru be dia January we consider 47 goals in all competitions. Into Oba Africa ha yen na ye ofufu nti obechi.
I'm glad no new other Puma.
No, you see, the guy is your cousin, direct cousins.
He might not have an issue with a cousin, but the one who took the decision.
Indirectly, what are you trying to tell the guy?
You're looking down on him, huh?
No, indirectly, then I'll catch a guy. No, you can say he says, "Yeah, you for AFCON medals, but Nana, how way." You see, sometimes Nana, you see, and Adewe, Ghana, Nana, I'm sure that by now, Nana, every single media house will be talking about this thing. Because these are the things that unsettles teams in tournament. It's here we go back. So who are they win them no? 2022. Okada zo yedeng. O she no ntimi mbo yedeng. Unpacking nyama no yedeng. Onkofie. Simple as that. Then it will take a Senegalese ex-footballer to come and calm you down.
Ondua. You know he saved the money penalty in that AFCON.
Nana, the guy
on his Senegal quarterfinals.
Me say, Nana, the guy Onana onto ni di wa Cameroonian for folklore mu. He's not a legend when it comes to Cameroonian football. Onana onye shima Cameroon. Into onjai na homa suona, homa suona won so onjai he should just stop it. Because yet now from last week now we're discussing why Onana AFCON Beshas here Nana on the 13th of January. Now Onana be bought a game. Premier League game on the 13th and arrive at the AFCON on the what? On the 14th. That alone is the whole what? Disrespect to the AFCON tournament. And everyone playing it. At the salon yenipa. Nana Mohamed Kudus muko making headlines no. Omo mai. Mo Salah mai. The other stars no omo mai. Now come on. See, as no pose only team they training at least a day or two what before. Ni any you are heading. Esim cheng. Nana no do be a heading. Ebeti ase. Everyone would have understood that. But they were back. You see, one, you might not be even be what? Fit. Match fit. Because jet lag. What for plane all the way from UK to what? To West Africa. Now look at the number of hours I will be. What be drew? And also call ya yes I will die and I be to airport or chain. Say you better take a canoe as I had a 21 airport what? City to the other. Now what's I be drew and I would giddy yama unchi. Nana, I wish so Nana Timini. Me nyanko te ha or studio we mo te ha me so be te ha. No, they mean yes, so same way so. You see, and in all this, I feel for 𝐒𝐏𝐕𝐄 song because as a Eto influence, no, is much bigger than his. Because this issue has not been solved though. 2022 issue, no, almost solved here. It's still there, it's still pending. Me question him post Nana. Say next game, yes, you on that. Or be bossing or no pe, and also be bossing and 𝐒𝐿𝐕𝐄 song airing. Epe. That's the question I'm asking. After what happened over there. No. I wouldn't side with Onana. I would no. Because although I hear Kanazem, Nana at a 22, he was in post. Imagine a 22-year-old Nana manning the post for an AFCON winning team. The pressure alone it was coming into your band AFCON. He has more experience than Onana. You forget club football. Because even the club football put the I would choose to be in the house and not concede 47 goals and come that than go and keep Mechi Debi and Hashem 47 goals in less than 40 games. Nana. And come that me the bed defeat into all share. Even per records in Panka do Akaye because on do I share 40 goals. You share 47 goals. Wow. I said when I saw the video, I thought say na okay. I saw the images, but later when say no. Onana almost saw the Susama. Ten ha account, Eto account, Nkofu way, and almost so Nana Swama, and then Calf so count. So player be consider goals Bebli way. You have a goalkeeper who was you got the finished fourth at the World Cup with Morocco and also won the Europa League. Now you Calf 11, you also had Nana ko shape. When na crowd bull run the no fees, he's the best goalkeeper on the continent.
Wow.
Oh no, he said wait, I mean you have to say it as it is.
Right.
You have to say it as it is. Ten Hag koto keeper fi take ya ba ma keeper inchi bi usi dey Onana chance na aba AFCON enye. Because all these things, Nyaman Kitikiti win na account, and it makes the player feel say, Nana, they've arrived. Yes, who goalkeepers that? We've seen goalkeepers. Yasin Bono, look at the performance the guy put up. Nana World Cup. He was so solid at the back. So Morocco had one of the best defenses in the tournament. Then you feel that you are superior than someone. Why? Because Manchester United cry tough for Kromunim. Nana many calf banka guy let us go. The AFCON doesn't need Nana to be AFCON. AFCON never yet die no Nana. Because Nana, on a more serious note, if we are being objective, it's a huge disrespect. Go to the Asian Cup. Nana, don't go Bisa say, has there been any player who arrived late, even a week before the tournament?
Maybe the Asian players don't play for bigger clubs.
Heung-min Son is playing for Tottenham Hotspur for crying out loud. Heung-min Son, see, Heung-min Son is a bigger player or a bigger player than Onana on any day.
Right.
Now, so no when national duty came calling, Nana Okoyentem is Onana bigger than Mohamed Salah. But when he left, Liverpool played their game on the first New Year's Day. Nana Bobby, one more. The tournament would start 12 days later. And look at Manambo. Kudus headlines so make it say, look at the hottest player in the Premier League. He's one of them. Onoko Haba. When much shifu osika kwa system ko shifu la mutu agu we omotogu play him shifu osika
Right.
Nana Onana issue me nka shi credit me di besi.
Thank you very much, Josiah. You will break in the next 5 minutes. But you say then, yeah, the WhatsApp messages and a bro and I send comma max by Star Times and Techno Mobile. This one says, "Hi Nana, good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Onana and Ondo are cousins, so maybe it might not be an issue for him to step aside. As for Mourinho, he needs to go on a sabbatical leave, but it's something he won't do because he's a football fanatic." This is Sadiq from Kaswa. This one also says, "Good morning, Nana Darkwa and your crew. You guys have not talked about the robbery that went on in London yesterday. FIFA told us the material for this January award was performance of the criteria you mean, okay. For the World Cup 2022, tell me, what did Messi do than Haaland last year after the World Cup? Messi won the best award, which we understood because he won it. But this one is a clear robbery. About Mourinho too, forget about his attitude. Even if he comes to Legon cities, he'll win them a trophy. That is his biggest asset." Good morning, Max FM. I'm Williams Adams, the psalmist inside Dodoa. Also, we should put the blame on the FA president and the sports minister. These two people must be sacked. Look at the sports minister. He can't give the amount the team will spend. All the sports ministers in this tournament, they give the amount. We, Ghana, were very shameful. Please, any transfer news for Liverpool? Okay, yes, Calvin Phillips. Teams are circling around him. I don't know whether Liverpool is interested, but Thursday, Egypt to beat Ghana. Oh, Williams, are they? This one says, good morning, Max Crew. Vandy Onana should know that his career at the national team has ended. How can you choose a club over your country? Just like choosing your girlfriend over your mother. You never realize your mistakes until she gets another boyfriend. What an analogy. If the Black Stars is able to score these wounded Egyptians, then it's because it's football. Per what I went through on Sunday, I don't think I'll support the Black Stars on Thursday. Not for anything, but for my own good. The name is still Joel from Bubuashi. And this one says, good morning, Nana. I'm begging the Cameroon coach Song. He should not use Onana at all because he's not in a good form. And not Ewomen past some East Legon Blue Gates. This one says, Nana, Yade, Lafia Lo, Alhamdulillah. Greetings to my little brother, Mutala. He's a passionate sports analyst. Hope he wasn't angry with me about my text yesterday about him. Miss you guys. Miss you guys and the good analysis. Always listening to you guys from Sunderland, UK. This is Zaro. Oba imagine the charger and the Warrior Studio has over the charger. No. Good morning. I'm doing the lesson from Koforidia Sushen and at TCL. It's good you are back. Okay, because we the friends, your friends miss you a lot. My greetings to my lovely wife, Doreen. This is your amount. Miss Eva, miss you guys too much. You're the reason I had to just wake up and come. If Ofori was in goal for Angola, that free kick you and Mutala are talking about would have ended up at the back of the net. Ofori, chia. Hey, who didn't put the message by? America, man.
Hey, Oscar.
Oscar Mauli, no what? Oscar.
I just don't send you. Don't listen to
Hey, Oscar, Kaunyamu. America, man.
If you're
I didn't to America, na uti, and I boy, you man, uti. Charlie, wherever you are, big up, eh? You're an amazing guy. Good morning. Please, Mutala, Bielsa is an Argentine, not a Chilean. I love the way the Black Stars are playing. It's making my bet work easier and faster. Hey, people do. God damn it. Kwame Hambolson, thank you. This one says, Mutala Pao, we don't like Moreno. He will spoil our football. I'm Rashid Noor from Ashaiman, Taifa, a.k.a. Andre Pello. This one says, Moreno has an attitude problem, and this is the fifth club to sack him. For Tottenham to sack him days before a cup final says a lot about him. He had quality players at Roma to be doing better than what he did. He had more red cards than all the Roma players put together. No top European club will employ him again. Kofi Nkaswa goes on to say, Cameroon will cause their own downfall for the decision to beg Onana to come out of retirement from national team. There won't be harmony in their camp because of this Onana issue. Kofi from Kaswa. Kofi, Happy New Year. It's good to hear from you, sir. Good morning, Nana. You're welcome. Congratulations to you, Nana. Please, I beg you, don't talk about the Black Stars today because these boys are not serious players. They can't do anything better or they can't win the cup. Never and never. If God help us, Seth, they can't do anything better. So please, I beg. Talk about House of Oaks problem. They are better than the Black Stars. I beg you, Nana. You are live at 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄, Voting Region, Ho West. Today is my wife's birthday. Grace